Oh shit, I didn't see you there. Well, that's probably due to the one-sided construct of parasocial relationships. You touch your grass and I'll touch mine. We're back at it again with another DynVars fuck me, dude. Another DynVars video. This is going to be the 4th one in the series, so if you haven't watched the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd one, then what the fuck are you doing here? You're not even going to know what's going on, man. Go back. Oh, you haven't even watched this 3rd one or the 2nd one? What's wrong with you? Go back to the 1st one. You know what? Can't cheat your way into knowing something, you dummy. So we're just going to get into it, and I'm going to show you how both boxes, now that are set up for external communication, can actually communicate with each other externally. So let's get into it. So the first thing we want to do is get new dynamic value variables onto these boxes of type color X. So we're going to start with box A, and then we will go over to box B, and I'll explain things as I go. With box A, I created another child and called it colors. And here is dynamic value variable of color X. I'm calling this box A / color. And the reason why is because this value is going to be changing the color value on the mesh renders material. So if we look here, this is the materials. And if we click the arrow on the left, it will pull up the materials tab. So you can see all the textures, the albedo color, emissive color. So these right here, these orange ones are going to be the ones that we're going to mess with, specifically this albedo color. So if I come over here and I put a value copy, so search value copy, and as you can see here, value copy is going to be under transforms and drivers. So we come here and we go down to color X. The source is where this change is coming from, and the target is the thing that we're changing. So i.e., this source is going to be coming from this value here. Whenever this color changes, it will change the value that is coming from here, this albedo color. So we plug this albedo color into this value copy here. So now every time this color changes, it will copy that value. And as we can see here, as I drag the color around, it copies the color that is within the dynamic variable, and that's what we want. So I'll turn it back to 1, and so we reset it, and then now this is set up. We want to go to box B, and box B is going to be the source that changes the color of box A, and I'll show you a little bit of code to be able to set that up too. So as you can see, we have box B. If I grab this, it changes. Yep, that's box B. We come here. I have also created colors already under the dynamic variable slot here, and I've given it 2 different colors, dynamic value variable color X. So there's 2 different ones here. The first one I called box B / color 1, and the second one is the same, just color 2. I want to change color 2 to let's go like this. Let's go pink. Why not? And this is it for the basic setup. Now, all we have to do is develop code on box B so that every single time you click box B, it will change the color on box A. Real quick, just to show you where a dynamic value variable is in the components section again. So it's going to be in the inspector. We can see it's right here, dynamic value variable, data and dynamic, and we're going to look for type color X. So now that we have our color X dynamic value variables, we can finally build the code to be able to change the box. First, what we're going to get is the dynamic value inputs. If you've somehow forgotten where they are, then it is here under variables and dynamic. And this time we're using dynamic variable value input because color X is a value. We'll scroll down until we find color X. Double click, spawn out DynVar input of type color X. We can see that's where the color is. Now, since we're working with box B, this is all going to be packed under box B to change the values on box A. So here I'm just going to type in box B / color 1, and real quick I'm going to do another dynamic variable input, and I'm going to call it color 2 to match up with the other one. So I drag this over here and I do color 2. Now we have both color 1 and color 2. This is black. It is not the same color as what I have in my inspector because I need to pack it. So I'll take number 1 and number 2. Go into my inspector, go to flux, and I've created a child called color changer. And we are just going to pack this under color changer. And then we spawn it back out like magic, like so. And look at that. Now it's attached to the box. Not going anywhere now, bitch. So as you can see, boom, color 1 and color 2. This is what I wanted. So how are we supposed to get these values over to that box? Well, we have to get another write and write the value to the path on box A. We will get another input of type slot, dynamic variable object input under variables and dynamic slot. Haha, spelled it right first time, bitch. And with this, we're going to call it box B, because again, this is all under box B, and reference to box A, because we have box A as a reference under box B now. We're just gonna pack it so that it gets referenced and then pull it back out. And there you go, box A right here on box B. That's magical. Next, we need a write, the write dynamic value variable, because we're gonna be writing the colors, get color X. So far, what we know we can do at least is plug in the input of the slot into the target, but how are we supposed to get two different colors into one write value? Well, we can do what's called a conditional. Conditional is an operator that will output either a true or false value depending on the condition that is met. So we'll go here and go to condition, and we're going to get a value conditional, which is under operators, and we are going to get it of type color X. And this is what it looks like. So it's a question mark with a colon. So if I take the true value to be this color and the false value to be this color, and I pull out the conditional node, then we can see here on the output, it changes the color depending on whether this bool value is true or false. So now that that's done, now we need a condition. Need more space here, so I'm gonna move back. We have our two colors and we have the conditional. Now we need a condition for it to be met. A good way that we can do this, and the way that I'm going to do it, is by utilizing the dynamic receiver to toggle it to true or false. The way that we would do this is to get a receiver, dynamic impulse receiver under flow. We got the receiver right here. We're gonna tag it with example because that's what we were using before. And then we're going to get what is called a data model Boolean store, or a Boolean latch. This is an extremely useful node, and it's one loved by most. I'm gonna type Boolean. So I type Boolean, and we can see here data model Boolean toggle, which is under variables. This is what it looks like. Don't mind the name, Boolean latch, data model Boolean toggle. It's the same thing. The way that this works is when we pull out these call options here, as well as this bool display, set and reset are basically true and false in toggled form. So not only does it give you calls of true or false, but it also gives you an actual Boolean of true or false as well. So if I hit set, it will fire a true value and it will set the bool to true. And if I hit false or reset, then it will fire a pulse on this reset, and then it sets the value to false. And if I hit toggle, it does quite literally what you think it does, and it just toggles between either true or false. So now we have to think in a process, right? So if I click the box, I want it to toggle between two different colors. So I have a toggle option right here. So I would plug in the Boolean latch on toggle here, and then plug in this value on the bool into the condition. Let's go ahead and pack this real quick just to make sure that everything is being registered. And then we unpack. Now when I click the box, it changes the color, which is exactly what I wanted. And the great thing about this is not only does it give you a value, but it also gives you the impulses too, which means we can actually just write directly to this write. So now I can plug in the true and the false value because I want it to write on both. And then I can plug in the color value here. So every single time I click the box, it sends a true impulse and a false impulse, and it also changes the color on it as well, all at the same time. The last thing that I need is, because we are getting the reference to box A, right? So on box B, I am getting getting the reference to box A, and now I need a path. The path is box A because, again, it's already referencing box A, and on box A, I'm looking for color. And if all of this is correct, we can take a look at the box over here and see it change as we click on box B. Magic. Let's take it a step further with something really simple. What if we want this value to smoothen out? Well, we would only need 2 nodes for that. You can do it in components, but I'm going to show you how to do it in Flux. I'm going to put box A over here for now. Then I'm going to get what's called a smooth lerp. I type in smooth lerp, and right there, value smooth lerp under math and interpolation. And again, I'm going to look for color X, which is right here. So smooth lerp, it smooths the values between one value and another over an estimated amount of time that you give it. Okay, so with this smooth lerp, I want it to change from that color to the other one over a certain amount of time. For some reason, the speed of the smooth lerp actually changes faster on higher numbers. That's why I put a 9 here. So now when I click the box, it smoothens that value quite nicely versus when it was just, you know, on off. But when I plug it in, if we look here, this is still just switching from one value to another. And the reason why is because a write is a one-time thing, not a constant update. So therefore it doesn't update the value and smoothen it out as it should. The way that we can actually fix this is to do a fire on change node that we learned in the last video. So because the color is constantly changing when it's in the smooth lerp, it technically counts as a change of value. So using a fire on change to update that value consistently is what is going to make this work. So we'll pull out a fire on change node right here, and we will plug this in. It will cast, and then once this casts, we can actually plug this in and replace the Boolean latch as the input toggle. And one last thing before we do anything, the fire on change, again, it needs a user and only for a user, which is the user that clicked the box. So we get another input. We go to object input, type in user, spawn it out, make some more space, and we plug it in and name it box B/user. I know for a fact this is going to work when I pack it, so I'm not worried about it being null right now. So since everything is all set up and ready to go, I can just pack it away and start clicking the box. I pack it. Now here is box A and here is box B. When I press box B, it smoothens out the value between the true and the false. And the nice thing about it is that because it's not driven, it's not constantly updating that value unless it's totally necessary, which is when you press the box. So another thing that we can do as well is, since it's all dynamic, if we wanted to change these colors to anything that we want, all we would have to do is just go to the DVs and the colors and change it. So I come here to DVs and colors on box B, and I would click and choose the colors that I want these to be. I want this to be orange, and I want this to be I guess purple. And now when I click the box, changes between those two values. I can brighten up these values as well. If you double a value rather than 1, like say 2, then it will make that value seem a lot brighter. I'm going to copy this 2 over to this 1 over here and make that one brighter as well. So now it kind of gives this glow effect. So yeah, I'm really glad that you guys were able to follow with me on these dynamic variables. I know it took a bit of setup, but it makes it so much more versatile and so much more dynamic in the things that you're able to edit and do. And it will allow you to create things that work externally from its own source. So if you're building worlds, dynamic variables, you're able to change pretty much anything that you would want. And you can make things localized to certain users. It's really cool. So you can do really, really cool things. Anyways, I hope you guys really like this one. If you want to see more on dynamic variables and how to implement new ideas and stuff into how they operate, then please let me know. I'll try to make a video on it. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one.